It is officially March Madness season, which means I'm in the mood to do a bracket. So today, I am going to do a bracket of all the Marvel and DC movies. So here's how I did it. I went to Rotten Tomatoes, and I chose out of the top 100 superhero movies list, I did all the ones I've seen from 1 to 32. Went a little past 32 because there were some I haven't seen. There's some on there that weren't counted as Marvel or DC. But these are the top 32 Marvel and DC movies I've seen. We're putting it in a huge bracket. No regions or anything. Like we're doing 1 verse 32, 2 verse 31. We're doing it that way. We start with a round of 32. We move on to the Sweet 16, then to the Elite 8. I will be putting the link of the article, but the Rotten Tomatoes thing in the description if you want to look at that list yourself. And without further ado, this is going to be a bit of a long video, so make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so to never miss another video like this, and hit the bell so you get notified of any video I make. And go down below, tell me your bracket or your ranking of all these movies or whatever. Let's talk some superhero movies. I know I've been making a lot of superhero movie content lately. If you guys want to see a bracket of horror movies, that would be another fun video. And with that said, let's dive into round 1, the round of 32. We got Into the Spider-Verse, which is our number 1, the highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes. Now these are going by Rotten Tomatoes score. That's the highest rated superhero movie of all time, versus number 32, which is X2, X-Men United. I think if X2 was versing anybody else, I think they could win. X2 really defined the superhero genre, has great moments in it, defined the modern superhero genre while also being a very compelling superhero movie. But it's against Into the Spider-Verse that revitalized the genre. It's animated beautifully, it's emotional, the characters are potent, there are great action sequences, and it's just a great Spider-Man story. And so while I like Across the Spider-Verse better than Into the Spider-Verse, no help denying that Into the Spider-Verse is phenomenal. It is number 1 on here, and so we are not barring an upset here. We are going Into the Spider-Verse to move on to the Sweet 16. I think Sweet 16 is round 2. Now we got an interesting one, because we got 16 seed Far From Home versus 17 seed Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is a 17 seed. It's 17. That's crazy to me. Far From Home, which is the most mid of the Spider-Man movies, the worst Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, kind of by a long shot, goes up against Captain America Civil War, which is pure genius. Now, nothing's wrong with Far From Home. It just got some story issues. But overall, as a movie, it's entertaining enough. It's watchable. I really enjoy watching it. But it's Civil War. It's genius. It has conflict between two characters we love, dividing people on who to root for in this movie. It's got a conflict that works. It's got a villain that works. It's got fantastic action sequences. Without a doubt, I am unbelievably surprised that Captain America Civil War is on a 17. It's a 17 seed. It goes against Far From Home, which is a 16 seed. That is crazy to me. Now we got number 8 and number 25. Wonder Woman is number 8. 25 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Wonder Woman, I think, is solid. I think it's a solid DC movie. It's a typical story. Hero goes back, not back in time, but back in time, hero goes to the war, fights the war. I like the third act. I know a lot of people don't. I like Steve Trevor. He's a cool character. It's just a watchable blockbuster movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm a fan of the Ant-Man franchise, even though Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Quantumania, is my least favorite MCU movie. I do like the franchise. I really do. Just because I love the first movie. I put out top 10 MCU movies back. That video will be up here. But, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is fine. It's a fun, generic movie. So this one, it's crazy how Ant-Man and the Wasp is 25 and Wonder Woman's number 8. Because I think both of these movies are good. They're watchable. But none of them are special. So I kind of go in between this one. They're definitely not making it past the Sweet 16. Which one do I want to move on? I have to go Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think. I think I'll move on Ant-Man and the Wasp just because, like, personally for me and my family, we are Ant-Man fans. But I could move on either one. I think they're both about even. Then we got number 9 and number 24, Thor Ragnarok and Doctor Strange. Big fan of Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi crafts a absolutely hilarious and very emotional at times Thor story, where the first 2 Thor movies are good. I like them, personal, but you can't help to deny that they're middle-of-the-road MCU movies. Then he makes this film, and it's a masterpiece. It resolves things that are inside of the MCU that we want to know, makes it feel like a competent cinematic universe, has great action sequences, closes out stories for Thor. I love Ragnarok. Doctor Strange, directed by Scott Derrickson. I really like Scott Derrickson. I think he's a great director. This movie is probably the most interesting visual-wise. But the story just doesn't really do anything for me, while Ragnarok is really perfect. So we are going to move the higher seat on to the Sweet 16. And so far we have Ant-Man and the Wasp and Civil War being the two upsets so far here. Number 4, Avengers Endgame. Number 29, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Never been the biggest Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 guy. I really just haven't. As soon as the movie came out, watched it, didn't like it. The movie, I do think, grows on me with each rewatch just because I love these characters. I think it's really funny. Actually, this is one of the funniest MCU movies. The story just doesn't really do anything for me. You have the story of Peter Quill and his father. And then, like, when we're in the middle of that, it just all of a sudden just goes, what are we going to do? We're going to have Peter Quill playing catch with his dad and other stuff happening. Then we have this random Ravager side plot that just doesn't really add anything to the movie, so the pacing is really weird and kind of boring, even though it is pretty funny. It's going against Avengers Endgame. You already know Avengers Endgame is going to win. It's a perfect conclusion to the saga. It's emotional. It's got the triumphs. The final battle is phenomenal. So pretty easily, Endgame moves on to the Sweet 16. Tough one here, the original Guardians of the Galaxy at number 13, and number 20, X-Men Days of Future Past. I really like X-Men Days of Future Past. I really like that movie. It combines the classic X-Men movies with the prequel trilogy, and I think they're pretty great. I really do enjoy that. And the character chemistry I really do enjoy, and the stuff with Magneto is great. The movie is really good, working as a sequel to the originals and to the prequels. The third act, not as good as the rest of the film. I always found the third act to be a little bit underwhelming, but I still really enjoy this film, and it's the X-Men movie I go back to more often. It's going against Guardians of the Galaxy. I gotta give it to Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love these characters. This film is such a classic MCU movie. It's awesome. It's funny. It's got great action sequences. Ronan is a super cool villain. So, as much as I would love to make Days of Future Past move on, I definitely have to go Guardians of the Galaxy to move on to the Sweet 16. Number 5, The Dark Knight, and number 28, Avengers Infinity War. Very hard one again. I absolutely love Avengers Infinity War. It is my favorite MCU film. Fantastic action sequences, character interactions that we're just so happy to get. It's hilarious with the character interactions. It's emotional with the character arcs that we go through here. And it ends off on just such a great cliffhanger. Didn't like the movie when it first came out, but this has been my MCU comfort movie. This is the MCU movie that I go back to the most. I love Infinity War. But it's put against my favorite movie of all time. Dark Knight is what I tell people is my favorite movie of all time. I love The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan just crafts a perfect story about Gotham and its people with a phenomenal performance by Heath Ledger, great stuff by Batman, great action sequences, and is the perfect Batman movie. I love The Dark Knight, and I loved Avengers Infinity War. I love Avengers Infinity War. It's the movie I go back to the most, and I want to move it on so much. I can't first round my favorite movie of all time. I love The Dark Knight. Moving on, we got Spider-Man Homecoming and Winter Soldier. Homecoming being the 12 seed, Winter Soldier being the 21 seed. I've never been the biggest fan of the Winter Soldier. I think it's a great movie, but I've always slightly thought it was a little bit overrated. It's got great storylines. I think the storyline of Hydra is one of the best MCU storylines out there. Winter Soldier is so cool. The action sequences are amazing. But the pacing makes the movie feel a little bit long to where every time I rewatch it, I feel a little bit exhausted after. So the experience watching it is not as pleasant as I think a lot of people get it. Spider-Man Homecoming is one of my favorite MCU films. It's got one of the best twists in the MCU. It tells a story of Peter Parker being a teenager, which is something we just don't get inside the MCU or we just don't get inside the Spider-Man lore ever besides this movie. And I just love the movie so much for that. So, I mean, it's not an upset because it's a 12/21 because Spider-Man Homecoming is rated higher. I think with the general audience, this could be an upset because a lot of people love Winter Soldier. I think it's very good, but I think it's slightly overrated. Meanwhile, Spider-Man Homecoming is fantastic. Number 2, Black Panther. This is the third rated comic book movie of all time, only behind Into the Spider-Verse and The Incredibles. Obviously, we're not including The Incredibles because it's not Marvel or DC. But we got Black Panther versus Batman Begins, which is the 31. Never been the biggest fan of Batman Begins, which is crazy to say, obviously, because The Dark Knight's my favorite movie of all time. But Black Panther versus Batman Begins, like I said, Batman Begins just not really my thing. I'm just not the biggest origin story person. Like, they've been growing on me lately, but like growing up, I've never been the biggest origin story person. And so Batman Begins just never really was my thing. I think it's fine, but it's nothing special for me. Meanwhile, Black Panther, I think it's very highly overseated. I love the movie, but like second best comic book movie rated on Rotten Tomatoes. Like what? But anyways, great movie, great characters. Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. It is a great movie, and so pretty much it wipes the floor with Batman Begins. I absolutely love Black Panther, and I am moving it on, even though I do think it's slightly overseated. 15, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. 18, Shazam. Now, Shazam, I do not like Zachary Levi. I do like this movie. I used to like Zachary Levi when these movies came out, but then he kind of went ham on social media and just kind of made me lose respect for him. Still, hard to deny that I think he's pretty funny in this movie. I think this movie's pretty funny. The action sequences are great. The family stuff in the end of the film, the third act, I think is phenomenal. Where the superhero stuff for the majority of the film I wasn't into, and then all of a sudden we get to the third act, and I got into the superhero stuff. I think it's very solid. Meanwhile, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, very surprising. That's number 15 on here. But it's stuff like my brother would love. I think the movie's good. I think it's got cool concept. I watched it when it first came out on physical media, and I enjoyed it. It's something my brother would go back to. It's never really would be my choice, but I'd say Teen Titans Go to the Movies it's a good movie. It's fine. Still have to give it to Shazam, because Shazam is one that I find that personally for me, I enjoy a lot more than Teen Titans Go to the Movies. And it's one that I do go back to sometimes. Number 7, Logan. Number 26, X-Men First Class. Logan is a masterpiece directed by James Mangold. It is awesome. Has some of the best action sequences out there. It tells a great story of Logan, Old Man Logan. Daphne Keane as X-23 is phenomenal. First Class, very good throwback movie to the kind of like a spy thriller inside the X-Men universe. It's very neat, very cool, directed pretty well by Matthew Vaughn. Really enjoy that movie, even though the third act kind of loses me a little bit every time I watch the movie. Gotta give it to Logan here. It's the best X-Men movie in my opinion. And so as much as I do love, or I do really like, I wouldn't go as far to say love, but I really, really like it. First Class, I definitely have to give it to Logan here. I just can't eliminate Logan first round. Spider-Man No Way Home at number 10. Number 23, the Lego Batman movie. Now, I've been seeing clips all over Instagram, YouTube, TikTok of the Lego Batman movie. And, like, as much as I didn't like it growing up, I've been laughing at these clips. They're absolutely hilarious, actually. I've been meaning to rewatch this one a lot. I just haven't. So, like, when I was growing up, I never really liked the movie. Here, I really want to rewatch it. I think I'd like it a lot more now. No Way Home, phenomenal. I think it's the best of Tom Holland's movies. As much as I love Homecoming, I'd have to say this one's the best, because it completes Tom Holland's Spider-Man's character arc. There's death in here. It's emotional. But you also get the fan service stuff of the characters from previous Spider-Man movies. The ending is absolutely emotional. And it's just awesome to see the 3 Spider-Man on screen together. And so, because I didn't like the Lego Batman movie growing up, I think I'd like it now. I still don't think it's going to be better than No Way Home. I love No Way Home. Number 3 versus number 30, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Deadpool being at number 30. I really like Deadpool. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but it's one of the more rewatchable movies of Marvel, because it's just so funny. Ryan Reynolds is awesome. It's hilarious. Great action sequences, blood, guts, everything that me as a movie fan loves in movies. It's compared up against Across the Spider-Verse. I'd love to see Deadpool move on around, but it's up against Across the Spider-Verse, where I said that I liked that movie better than Into the Spider-Verse, significantly by a large margin. That's not saying Into the Spider-Verse is bad. That's an A+ movie. This movie's like an A+++ movie. I watched it in January, and I bawled my eyes out during the movie, because, like, it's a masterpiece. It's emotional. It's awesome. Continues the story, and I cannot stress enough, Beyond the Spider-Verse is my most anticipated movie of all time. I cannot possibly eliminate that from the first round. As much as I love to give Deadpool a win here, have to go to Across Spider-Verse. I love that movie. The Avengers and the Suicide Squad. here we go again. Another very difficult one. The Avengers is a monumental movie. I always found this one to be really entertaining just because of the cast interactions, the action sequences. Always one that I find myself going back to a couple times a year because I just have so much fun with the movie. It's up against the Suicide Squad, which is my personal favorite James Gunn movie. I think that one's awesome. Great cast interactions. It's weird, it's wacky, and it works. It's hilarious. It takes the rated R mantra, and it does it perfectly. I always enjoy that movie, and I would love to give a win to Avengers here. Have to go to Suicide Squad just because of how much I love that movie. It is one of my personal favorite movies of all time, and it is my personal favorite James Gunn film. I have two more matches here in the round of 32. Iron Man and the Batman, very tough one here. Iron Man started the MCU. My brother loves this movie. He watches it he's already seen 8 times this year, which is kind of crazy. But I love the movie. I don't love it that much. Kind of crazy. It's number 6 here, and the Batman, which is number 27, is a huge sleeper. Now, when the Batman first came out, I never liked them. I liked the movie. I thought it was massively overrated. Rewatched it the first time last year. Loved it. I thought it was a masterpiece. Matt Reeves is an absolute genius. What he did with the Penguin is absolutely genius-like. The movie has a very intimidating Batman in Robert Pattinson, who is one of the best actors working today. I just love the movie. And so Iron Man, while starting the MCU, it is a perfect movie. I'd have to move the Batman forward. I do. Iron Man's in my top 10 MCU movies. But the Batman's pure genius. I love the Batman. And our final one, number 11, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 versus number 22, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. We got a pretty huge upset here. This is a massive upset with number 22, Spider-Man, moving on versus number 11, Spider-Man 2. I've never been the biggest fan of Raimi's films, but I rewatched them, I think 2 years ago. 2 years ago when Across the Spider-Verse came out. I loved it. I loved the first Spider-Man. I thought it was a perfect origin story. Now, like I said earlier with Batman Begins, not the biggest origin story person. I loved the origin story of Spider-Man, and I thought it was great. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is awesome. Spider-Man 2 is obviously classic. Spider-Man 2 is really good. It is a really good movie. It just doesn't compare to the first one. This is a case where the first one is definitely better than the sequel. I loved Spider-Man, and it's got to win this round. Moving on to the Sweet 16, we got some great matchups here, and we start off with a great one. 1 versus 17, Into the Spider-Verse versus Captain America Civil War. Into the Spider-Verse, like I said, revolutionized the animated comic book Spider-Man genre. It is one of the best Spider-Man movies. Not as good as Across the Spider-Verse, but it's very good. I gotta do a big upset here with 17, Captain America Civil War, moving on over Into the Spider-Verse. I love Civil War. Like I mentioned, it is just pure genius script. Such a fantastic movie with great characters, great action sequences. I rewatched it for the first time last year, fell in love with it, and I've watched it 4 times since because I just love the movie so much. I definitely have to move on Captain America Civil War onto the Elite 8. Ant-Man and the Wasp versus Ragnarok. Pretty easy one here. Ragnarok moves on. Like I said, it is an absolutely hilarious and emotional movie by Taika Waititi. Meanwhile, Ant-Man and the Wasp is, at its best, fine. It is a fun MCU movie. Pretty easily, Ragnarok moves on to face Captain America Civil War. Avengers Endgame versus Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, what a difficult one here. Endgame, such a perfect ending to the saga. Guardians of the Galaxy, such a great movie by James Gunn. I love both of these movies with a passion. Gotta move on Endgame, though, because of how monumental it was. Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously a classic. Absolutely love that one. But Avengers Endgame is just monumental. It is a monumental movie. It is phenomenal. I love it. Another very difficult one here. The Dark Knight and Spider-Man Homecoming. Moving on The Dark Knight, because it is my personal favorite movie of all time. It's favorite to win this tournament for me. Meanwhile, Homecoming, just such a great Spider-Man movie. It's a perfect Spider-Man movie. It captures Spider-Man in a perfect way. But it's going against The Dark Knight. No one's beating The Dark Knight except in the championship game. It's most likely getting the championship game. Now this video is not scripted. I'm going off what's going in my head throughout this entire tournament. But I have to give it to The Dark Knight because I love The Dark Knight. Black Panther and Shazam. Black Panther number 2 on here. It's not getting upset. I just love Black Panther. As like I said, I do think it's highly overranked. But that's also, not to say it's overrated. It's a great movie. I just don't think, it's the best rated MCU movie on Rotten Tomatoes. I just don't think it's deserving of that. But it is a phenomenal movie. It's a great movie, and it's versus Shazam, which is just a fun movie. I do enjoy Shazam. Zachary Levi, not a big fan of him, even though I thought he was funny in the movie. But I do have to move on Black Panther, just because Black Panther is overall a better movie than Shazam. And what will Black Panther be playing in the Elite Eight? 7 Logan, 10 No Way Home. So hard here. Logan, the best X-Men movie, a great story, great ending to that era. It's phenomenal. No Way Home, great movie. Ending to Tom Holland's Spider-Man arc there. He's still here, but ending to that personal arc with great fan service. Story's not as near as good as Logan. That's always the movie that I'd turn on over Logan, though. If you put a gun in my head and say, what do you want to watch, Logan or No Way Home? I'd choose No Way Home. I gotta have No Way Home moving on to Elite 8. Very, very shocking, I know. But I really do like No Way Home. It's more personal to me, mainly just because I've seen it more times than I've seen Logan. Across Spider-Verse and the Suicide Squad, and gosh darn it, another very hard one. I love Across the Spider-Verse. I think the movie is pretty great. I mean, I adore the movie. I love the Suicide Squad. I think the movie's pretty great. It's my personal favorite James Gunn movie. But Across the Spider-Verse, where I think is better than the number one here. I love that movie. I find it so emotional. I was bawling by the end of it. Have to move it on. The Suicide Squad, fantastic movie by James Gunn. I just don't think it has the potent emotions that Across Spider-Verse does. Have to move on Across the Spider-Verse to the Elite Eight. The Batman and Spider-Man. Now, this one's not very difficult. I really like Spider-Man, the first one. I think it's a great origin story. Probably, besides the original Iron Man, the best origin story out there. But it's going against the Batman, which I think is a perfect Batman movie. It handles all of these things that Batman should be absolutely brilliantly. So I think I'm definitely going to have to move the Batman forward against Spider-Man. I could see a lot of people going to Spider-Man. This is probably unpopular for me. But I have to move the Batman forward just because of how much I think, personally, it works for me over the original Spider-Man. The Elite Eight. Civil War, Thor Ragnarok. Very difficult one here, obviously, because Civil War is just such a fantastic movie. Best Captain America movie by far, just because of the genius script. But Thor Ragnarok, a great MCU movie. Always love watching Thor Ragnarok. It's always one I throw on multiple times a year. I think it's hilarious. Gotta go with Civil War. The 17 seed is going to move on to the Final Four. I think Civil War is absolutely phenomenal, and it definitely deserves to go into the Final Four. Then we got Avengers Endgame and The Dark Knight, 4 vs. 5. Another very difficult one. Oh my goodness, is this a very difficult one. Endgame, fantastic ending to the saga. The Dark Knight, favorite movie of all time. I gotta go Dark Knight. I have to go Dark Knight because I absolutely love The Dark Knight. It's my favorite movie of all time. And while Avengers Endgame is a fantastic ending to the saga, it just doesn't beat the genius of Christopher Nolan's Batman movie, The Dark Knight. Fantastic performance by Heath Ledger. Amazing movie. It's got to go to my Final Four. Number 2, Black Panther. Number 10, No Way Home. This is an upset. I'm going No Way Home here. Again, the story is not as near as good as Black Panther's. Black Panther's has a great story. It's a fantastic movie. It's an A+ movie. Overseeded as a 2 seed for sure. But Spider-Man No Way Home, I think, is just overall more special movie with more emotions, at least that adhere to me. Now, the stuff with Kilgrave and Black Panther is phenomenal. Some of the best stuff in the MCU. But the stuff with Spider-Man No Way Home and where we get the character interactions, the things that we never thought we'd see before, we have to move No Way Home into the Final Four. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people have their issues with this movie. I love the movie, and I will always proceed to love the movie. Number 3, Across the Spider-Verse. Number 27, The Batman. Great Batman movie, the second best, obviously behind The Dark Knight. It's going against Across the Spider-Verse, which, I mean, is just such an emotional, such a potent, such a beautiful and fantastic Spider-Man film. So obviously it has to go into the Elite, not the Elite Eight, but the Final Four. Across Spider-Verse is going to beat The Batman, and I would love to see The Batman move on to the Final Four. I love The Batman, but I think Across Spider-Verse means more to me. Time for the Final Four. Matchup 1, Civil War and The Dark Knight. Matchup 2, No Way Home and Across the Spider-Verse. The 2 best Spider-Man movies. Which ones are going to prevail? Let's start with Civil War and The Dark Knight. Civil War, amazing movie, fantastic script. Can't really add on to anything that I haven't already said in this video and several other videos on this channel. But it's against The Dark Knight. Favorite movie of all time. I mean, come on. We've been talking about this entire 45-minute long video. It goes over Civil War. And it is a favorite to win this, obviously. As much as I love Civil War, I gotta pick The Dark Knight to head to my championship match. No Way Home, Across Spider-Verse, what's the better one here? This is where No Way Home's incredible run finally ends. Again, does amazing stuff that I never thought they would. It's emotional, while it's also does the fan service stuff right. It's incredible. But it's against Across Spider-Verse. What can I already say that I haven't in this video? It's emotional, it's potent, great characters, great animation, great action. Made me cry every time I watch it. Adore this movie, and Beyond the Spider-Verse, my most anticipated movie of all time. That's why we have The Dark Knight and Across the Spider-Verse in my championship match. Which one wins? Dark Knight, I tell people, is my favorite movie of all time. Love The Dark Knight. Across the Spider-Verse, I cry every time I watch it. It's such a beautiful and amazing film. Can I tie? I'm going to finish this on a tie. You guys make sure to subscribe. No, obviously I'm joking. Obviously I'm not going to tie here. I mean, The Dark Knight, it's my favorite movie of all time, and I feel obliged to win this one. But Across the Spider-Verse, such a perfect movie. Such a perfect movie that is beautiful every time. Oh, this is so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard to pick. And I'm going to be sitting here thinking about this, and whatever I choose is going to feel like the wrong one. What wins? What wins? What comes in first? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna move forward. My favorite film of all time, The Dark Knight, wins this entire bracket. I love The Dark Knight. It is a phenomenal film. Hurts me that I gotta give Across the Spider-Verse, an amazing movie, the second place in this tournament. But The Dark Knight is my favorite movie of all time, and it has to win. Look, I'm about to leave here to go watch a press screening of the movie Holland. It's got like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what that's going to be, and I'm going to be reviewing that. It's probably already going to be out on the channel, because that's going to be easier to edit than this one. I'm going to edit this video. It's going to take a while to edit this one, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Go ahead and tell me down below what's your bracket, all that. I'm going to try to link the bracket in the description so you guys can see it and make your own if it's possible at all. And with that said, thank you guys for clicking on this video and subscribe.